Hello everyone. Today I'll be doing a review on Renfield, which was directed by Chris McKay and stars Nicolas Cage as Dracula. Go watch this movie now. Okay, no but seriously, this is a movie directed by Chris McKay called Renfield, starring Nicolas Cage as Dracula, Nicholas Hoult as Renfield, and Awkwafina as Rebecca Quincy. This movie centers around the character of Renfield, who had a bit of a jolt of conscience, and he wants to get away from being Dracula's familiar. Familiar basically just means his slave. He brings him bodies, and Dracula feeds on him, and he wants to get away from it. So this is a movie that I have been really looking forward to. Nicolas Cage plays Dracula. Nicolas Cage plays Count Dracula. I heard that and I was just like, I will give you my fucking money right now. Please, give me just gimme, please. And Nicholas Hoult, I thought, was quite good in the menu, just painful to watch, but he was very good. And I was keen for him to bring something to the role of Robert Montague Renfield. So to start off with the positives, just the first and just most obvious positive is Nicolas Cage as Count Dracula. This guy is a god. He's my favorite actor. I look up to him. I'm just like, how do you do this? And Nicolas Cage has always been so good. Like, in everything, no matter what. Like, if you don't gel with him, that's fine. But going back to the 80s with Vampire's Kiss, when he plays a man who thinks he's turning into a vampire, holy shit. He's just the standout. And him playing a vampire kind of in that, and now playing Count Dracula in this, is so cool to look at. It's so cool to look at, just like, the jump from the start of his career to the present day. I love the man so much. Nicholas Hoult, I thought, was really great as Renfield. He had this kind of post-century feel to him, considering he's obviously been the same age for the past 80 years or so. I think it might be around about that. Just the costumes that he has on and the way he speaks and his overall manner, I thought was just brilliant. He's really kind of like a fish out of water situation in New Orleans, so yeah, I really liked his performance as well. Another thing that I loved about this film was the set design. I wasn't expecting this from a mid-budget horror comedy, but there's like a location inside of a hospital, and I was just looking and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And not only that, Renfield's apartment was really well done, and just everywhere else was just, I was so surprised by it. It all worked really well. Also, this movie, it has a lot of blood, and if you like blood, you're not going to be disappointed by watching Renfield, because this has so much blood everywhere. It is so cool. And one thing that surprised me is a lot of it is CGI blood, but because it's supposed to be just camp-fueled humor, I didn't mind the CGI blood. Normally I'm a big fan of practical effects, but the CGI blood in this one was really comical and really goofy, and it fit the tone of the film perfectly. I loved how gory this film was. It was just ridiculous and it was awesome. Moving on to the mixed aspects for me, I have to say that despite loving the gore, the actual action sequences, while entertaining, they just had something about them that I didn't like. I think it might have just been the soundtrack. It was very silly, but not in like, a good campy way. It felt like Marvel humor kind of at some parts. Something about that, it just, the score and the editing in it, just something about it felt a bit off. I definitely enjoyed it. I was definitely never bored when watching it, and the set design really helped frame it really well. It all looked great. It was just some of the editing and definitely the soundtrack that they used I was not a fan of. And now moving on to the negatives. Now, this film is by no means great. It's a good film. But Awkwafina, however the fuck you say that. Listen, if you call yourself Awkwafina as a stage name, that says a lot about you. She was horrible in this. I could not stand her. I got whiplash because I was like, sitting on the edge of my seat, just giggling just so much at Nicolas Cage going crazy. And then cut to a scene with Awkwafina and Renfield, and it was just like... Her lines, which I will admit, she didn't have a lot of help with in her dialogue. They weren't good. I was going to say, her dialogue wasn't great. The way she delivered it was not good at all. She was just a grumpy little bitch walking around with her hunchback, which I don't know why she had a fucking massive hunchback for this movie. It was so weird. It looked fake. I don't know if she actually has that. I hope she doesn't. That'd be mean if I made fun of her actual hunchback. Anyway, fucking hell, Jesus Christ. I was not a fan of her. I thought everything with her just deflated the movie. I didn't care about it. I just wanted to watch Nicolas Cage play Dracula. I did not give a flying fuck. And another big negative for me, that admittedly does get wrapped up quite well, is there's another subplot with kind of like a mob family, which sort of ties in with the Awkwafina story. I don't care. I do not give a fuck. No, I don't care. I don't care. I want to watch Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage on screen together, bickering and fighting and tearing off limbs and using arms and the bones sticking out of them as javelins and stepping people to the wall and shit like that. I want to watch fucking just everyone just kick the shit out and squash their guts and just have blood spurt out them. I want to watch that shit. And the movie does deliver on that, but it is undercut by Awkwafina's awful character and performance, and this really, really unnecessary just subplot with these bloody drug kingpins and mobsters and whatever. This movie has flaws. It has many flaws, and I think the final flaw that I'm going to mention is that, despite not really being a flaw, I could have used with a lot more Nicolas Cage. Please, that's what we came to see. And yes, I understand you don't want to, have too much of him, you don't want to spoil it, but when you hear him in a movie that's got Nicolas Cage in it and he's playing Dracula, it's what we come to see, not Awkwafina and some drug kingpins. Overall, I did enjoy Renfield, but there was a fair few things that really pissed me off about it. It's definitely not great. It's definitely not bad. It's certainly a good film. I just hope that this film does well and that some of the critical response can get to the filmmakers, and if they ever try and make a sequel, which I really hope they do, I hope that they up the Nicolas Cage, down the Awkwafina and mobsters, because there could be more done. There could be more done with this kind of a concept. I'm going to give Renfield 3 stars. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you enjoyed the movie, and I'll see you all later. Bye.